Good morning, Southern California, AM 1220 KHTS. Your host, Fred Arnold, on the Valley Industry Association Business Spotlight. I'm joined by Henry, I'd like to say it's O'Brien Rodriguez. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Henry from Henry Rodriguez Insurance Agency. I want to rapid fire a topic, and that is what's going on. We're very concerned about flood.
Yes.
And you might not be in a flood zone, but it might not be a bad idea to get flood insurance. In fact, it's less expensive if you're not in a flood zone.
Yeah.
Let's talk about flood.
You know what, Fred, you brought up a good topic there. A lot of people think that they're not in a flood area or flood zone. The entire area is broken up into certain zones, and so some people think, oh, you know what, there's never going to be a flood. But you may want to ask the folks up in the AV a few weeks ago that flash flood. They're in Zone X, which is probably the most inexpensive area to purchase flood insurance. It's $430 a year. And it's like basically they set the price so that they know that there's never going to be a flood, and there just happened to be one about a month ago.
And so they make it less expensive than if you're in a flood zone because they don't anticipate it happening.
Right, exactly. So, but to my point, I want to hit home on that point is that most people think that they don't need it, but again, ask the folks in the AV. Most of them, I had several clients, specifically in the Corto area, that they said, I never need flood insurance. And they witnessed one. They literally had a river running down their backyard. And in one specific instance, they had about $80,000 worth of loss, where they had just constructed a brand new pool. The entire pool was filled with muddy water, and it had to be resurfaced. It was just not a pretty sight.
Let me ask you: if you happen to have a flood, and let's say the flood is a half mile down the road, but your pipes back up because of the flood, is that flood?
No, that actually covered under your under a typical homeowner's insurance policy. So come contact us at the Henry Rodriguez Insurance Agency. We have several sales reps that are more than trained and knowledgeable to kind of distinguish exactly what you need. But yeah, there are specific instances where, for example, flood is defined as water falling from the sky, hitting the ground, then going into your house. Okay, that is flood. Number two is it has to be deemed a flood at a local level or at a state level. You can't just say, hey, Fred, I had a flood in my house, and now my flood insurance is going to be covered.
Well,
it doesn't work that way.
We have flood toilet overflowed. Is that what a flood?
Right, that would be covered under your homeowner's insurance policy. Yeah. So you may want to talk to, again, the professionals at the Henry Rodriguez Insurance Agency, or talk to your insurance professional just to get some detail and some clarification around what's flood, what's not, what's covered, what's not.
Well, the big one's coming, and I'm not talking about the UCLA-USC game this weekend. I'm talking about we're going to have an earthquake. It's just a matter of time before it happens. Where it happens, who knows? But we're in Southern California, earthquake insurance.
That's right. So for most people, their home is their biggest asset. So of course, in my professional opinion, everyone should have earthquake insurance. It was 93?
94.
94.
January 17th, 1994, 401, I think.
Yeah, it took out a lot of homes. So again, going back to, for most people, the home is their biggest asset. And make sure that you protect it, especially if you have equity in your home. It's like putting insurance on money. So if you ever sold your home and need a line of credit, that won't be available because there's two things that are completely excluded from any typical homeowner's insurance policy. That's flood and earthquake, completely excluded. Anything that happens due to what we call those perils, earthquake or flood, completely excluded from your homeowner's policy.
Very important to know, and very important to know now, especially that we haven't had an earthquake in 20, 25 years,
yes.
And we haven't, 21 years, and we haven't had this challenge with flood. Let's talk about identity theft restoration.
Yes, so it seems that more and more people are being victims of identity theft these days. It's very, very common now. My agency has a very simple fix for that. It's an endorsement that you can actually add on to any homeowner's policy, renter's policy, condo policy, and it's $25 a year for it. And the basic coverage, I'll read it off to you. There's a cost to obtain, credit bureau reports, fees to reapply for loans or grants, telephone and postage fees, notary fees, legal fees. You have $1,000 towards any type of deductibles that you have for that claim, and then you have about $5,000 combined in any lost wages or any child care or elderly care because of that identity theft. Again, exactly, yes.
And a lot of people don't realize it's hard to get a job when your credit's bad, or you're in the industry where you want to become self-employed. And
it could be a devastating and life-changing event if you are hit by, some type of identity theft. It can get really, really bad.
Those who want to reach out to you, Henry?
You can reach out to me at the office, 661-250-4892, or just click on www.scvinsurance.net.
Ladies and gentlemen, Henry O'Brien Rodriguez from the Henry Rodriguez Insurance Agency. Henry does a lot of charity and work in town. I want to thank you for that.
Of course.
And yeah, thanks for all you do, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. Thank you, guys.
Hope you enjoyed this edition of the Valley Industry Association Business Spotlight. It shows Fred Arnold on AM 1220 KHTS.